Hello, I'm Kloshba, and in this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to design a fursona, or really any general type of OC. Now, keep in mind, I'm no way a professional designer. I just kind of like to design characters for fun, and this is just going to be more of my process, so there is, in fact, no right or wrong way. I'm really just making this video to kind of help people who are stuck in that design process, or who are new and just kind of looking at a place to start or try to figure out how to design their first fursona or a first character of theirs. I should also mention, you don't have to strictly design a fursona by yourself. You can also go and buy an adoptable character, which is basically a pre-made design someone has already made. But we're not going to be really focusing on that. We're going to be more focusing on you wanting to create a fursona from scratch is what I call it. So picking the species yourself, figuring out the colors, and all those little tiny details that makes that character really yours and helps it stand out. Now, before we get more into depth about how I do designs, I probably should clear up some terminology. You may be asking yourself, what is a fursona? A fursona is basically the representation of oneself as an animal. More or less, you've probably seen them online. They're usually anthropomorphic animals, so think Zootopia, but make it a lot more colorful, is what you're going to be getting with a fursona. Now, a person can have more than one fursona representing different parts of their personality or times in their lives. So you don't have to have one fursona, you can have many. I, in fact, actually have 3. I have Kloshbet here, and then I have both Zap and Tori. Both of them are created to help me explore different parts of who I am and mark certain parts of my life as I grew and changed. Now, let's start with what I consider is the first step in designing a fursona, which is picking a species. Now, picking a species may be the hardest part for some folks because you're indecisive, or there's just so many options you don't know what to do with, and I'm here to tell you, that's fine, that's okay, we all get like that sometimes. We all have that phase where your fursona goes through 4 or 5 different species, and you still don't know if it feels right or not. That's happened to me with Kloshbet. She has gone through so many different species changes, and now she is a wolf and serval hybrid. So keep in mind, hybrids you can do. This is a fictional character. It doesn't need to follow the laws of nature. Just let your imagination go wild when designing and picking this character that is going to represent yourself. So for myself, when deciding on a species to make a fursona based off of, I usually go along the lines of what animals or creatures do I really enjoy. As you can see, a lot of my characters do in fact have some sort of savanna cat slash serval mixed in with them, because I really like how servals look. I like the big ears, I like how they're really lanky, and they just kind of look fun to me, so that's why I usually pick them. But for yourself, do something that really calls to you. So don't be scared to do hybrids, but also look at other things too. Look at fantasy species like dragons, unicorns, griffins, all those types of other animals. And even the furry fandom has a lot of open species that are creators made that you can pick from too. So we got things like Dutch angel dragons, protogens, skull dogs. Animals that have skulls are very popular, along with prehistoric animals too. So raptors and saber-toothed tigers are also one of those very popular species too within this fandom. But don't feel like you have to pick something because it's popular or well known. Pick and design something that makes you happy and that something that you will love. Now, whatever species you choose won't be the be-all, say-all of whatever your fursona design is. Keep in mind, this is the representation of you. So as you grow and change, so will your species, along with other things like color palettes with that character. Just know that you don't need to pick one thing and stick with that thing and that thing only. you can always change it up if it doesn't feel right to you. But if you're really stuck and you're just like, I just need a cookie cutter formula, tell me what I need to put it into, I usually say going with a wolf, fox, or cat are always a safe bet. There's a lot of art bases out there, so if you just want to color in something, kind of get a feel for it. Wolf, foxes, and cats have a lot of free-to-use bases on DeviantArt, which can always help you with the processing of what you're really wanting from your fursona, or how you really want to show who you are as a person through this character. Now, the second step for me after I pick the species in my Sona is going to be picking a color palette and mood boards to kind of work with and draw up inspiration so I can kind of figure out the small intricate details of this character now. Keep in mind this is interchangeable with the first one, so you can pick your color palette and mood board first and then design a character based off of that, like species through everything else. But I usually do it second just because for the most part I usually already know what type of character I am looking for. I usually use mood boards for accessories to the character, so like bracelets, clothing, fun tattoos or markings. I usually use the mood boards for, and the color palettes I usually patch together to get a rough idea of what I want this character's color scheme to be. So I kind of use them together, but I also sometimes just use the mood board strictly for its colors and none of its aesthetic purposes, or I use it just for its colors and for the aesthetic purposes and just throw out the color palettes completely, because color palettes can be really hard to find in the exact colors you're looking for. So you can pull from those color palettes and always tweak it. Sometimes colors don't look nice next to each other because of color theory, but things like that, it's really up to the artist to decide what you really want this character to look like, and it's kind of hard to tell you how to do the step. It's more of gathering inspiration before you go into designing your character. Now the last step of everything is putting it all together. So I decided to go for a sunflower serval themed design for this Sona. They probably actually won't be just a Sona, they're just here for demonstration purposes. So you can see me here doing a lot of sketching, so this is just me figuring out how I want the reference sheet to look, along with just getting the little details of the design itself, so I can kind of have more of an idea when I go over with color and line art. I usually don't do this step a lot. I usually like to work from bases and then make the rough sheet, because a base does allow me to play around more. As you'll see here later on, I do change my mind up on colors. So I'm starting to pull colors from the mood board itself because I really liked how the colors in the mood board look. So you'll see here that the little smaller video has gone away, and this is because my file got corrupted. Yay, love that. But I'm right now just kind of playing with the colors. I already knew what I really wanted to go for, so that's what I went with. I wanted to go with the natural serval kind of colors with fun little accents. So I'm kind of happy with the design, and then I changed my mind completely and redo it with different colors because I really didn't like the original colors I picked, so I kind of lightened up the spots a lot more and kind of brought more of a bright, lighter color, and then didn't make her little design on the back stand out. So that's mainly what I do. It's really up to preference, and then I'm just finishing up the reference sheet. I want to thank you all for watching, and I hope this helped you if you're kind of stuck or anything. So until next video, see you later and stay creative.